Hey, how's it going YouTube? This is your boy Chosen and welcome to today's discussion video. And today I wanted to focus more on Sasuke Uchiha's future role within the series. So in a few of my past videos, I've said that with Sasuke now losing the rinnegan, his past role, which was basically watching over the Leaf Village, is going to be a lot more complicated now. He doesn't have that kind of power anymore, and traveling dimensions in seek of otherworldly threats isn't an option. And with the stakes now being at an all-time high, seeing as how you have your two powerhouses who sacrifice their abilities in order to stop the greatest threat the world has ever faced, the question now being is, if we do get another Isshiki or Momoshiki type villain, who's gonna be ready for it? And one of the reasons as to why I just don't see a crazy strong villain like Isshiki making an appearance anytime soon is because of the fact that nobody is ready for it. And it's not a thing to where if the main cast just pushes hard enough, despite many losses, they can do it. No, if a villain just as powerful pulls up early in the time skip, there is no hope. Look at the state Boruto, Naruto, Sasuke, and Kawaki were in before Boruto teleported Isshiki out of Konoha. And look at how they ended up after. That's with Naruto using 6-path mode, Baryon mode, Sasuke with the rinnegan, and even Kawaki playing a risky game that ended up working when he fooled Isshiki with the shadow clone. At the end, Sasuke lost the ability to perform rinnegan techniques, Naruto lost Karuma, and Kawaki lost his karma seal. Sasuke himself said that he fully expected to die in this battle, but somehow they made it out. Of course, in the time skip, they will encounter powerful villains, but definitely not to that degree. Maybe something along the lines of car members in terms of power, like Boro for example. That's the kind of villains we may start off with until the show gets to that point, whenever that is. And with keeping big time characters like Naruto and Sasuke alive, even if their role is diminished, they are still gonna have one. With Sasuke, this man was basically a part-time guardian, part-time sensei, and part-time father and husband. The way I see it now moving forward, his character could be leaning more towards that sensei and husband type role, to where he spends more time at home helping the younger generation prosper in each of their own ways. Which is where we finally get to the point of today's video. How it's finally time for the next generation to wake up and step up. But before I continue, I am aware Sasuke already had his training with the young Team 7 in the novel Star Pupil. I actually have the novel in my room, but haven't gone to it yet due to the fact that there is a lot of talk within Boruto's story as of right now, because we just got done the biggest arc in this series. But now that it's done and things are most likely going to go at a slower pace, I am most likely going to start covering the novel soon. But regardless, the type of training I'm talking about is a bit different. If I'm not mistaken, the Star Pupil novel challenges Sasuke and the team on what it really means to become a master and student. The type of stuff I'm talking about is a bit more advanced. I think, and not even when it comes to just ninjutsu training, Sasuke can individually bring something to the table that will help each member overcome or improve on something, or honestly even avoid a similar situation he or someone he knows once was at. In Boruto episode 170, which is a perfect example of what I'm trying to get at, Sakura has a whole argument with Sarada due to the fact that she's pushing herself a little too hard. Sarada retaliates by saying that she won't ever know when she'll encounter another powerful enemy, so she needs to be prepared just in case. After Sarada runs off, Sakura goes on to say she's worried about Sarada, especially with her being an Uchiha, due to the fact that if she does end up unlocking her Mangekyo, it'd most likely be due to the fact that she went down a dark path and will continue to do so like every Uchiha before her. Sasuke's answer to all this is, isn't that all the more reason for us to teach her all the ways so she can protect herself? And honestly, I think the talk about the Mangekyo Sasuke tried to avoid is something that eventually needs to happen before she inevitably awakens it. If Sasuke's plan with Sarada is to restart the clan through her, I think preparing her for this inevitable path of unlocking this power could help her avoid going down such a wrong path to achieve it. For those who don't know, there is a theory going on about how Sarada will unlock a new kind of Susanoo through love, the opposite way that the past Uchihas have unlocked it before. If Sasuke can sit down, have a heart-to-heart with his daughter, finally come clean of everything about his past and what unlocking the Mangekyo is typically portrayed as, she'll come to understand that the fate of the future of her clan rests within her, and how she goes on about presenting the name of the clan is very important. Since the Mangekyo is looked at as such an evil eye, through Sarada, this could be different moving forward and could motivate her even more to become the first ever Uchiha Hokage, one who unlocked her abilities through hard training and love, respected by everyone in the village, forever leading her clan in the right direction. Sasuke, just basically preparing his daughter for what's to come. To become the person he wasn't is a very important lesson to her development. Obviously, when it comes to ninjutsu, I think just like how he was so good at changing chakra form, I personally would love to see this with Sarada. She already has fire style and lightning style locked down, which were Sasuke's primary natures. So I think he can really help her expand her moveset and shape her up to be that versatile warrior that he also is. Now with Boruto, in terms of abilities, of course, when it comes to the Karma Seal, one of the only people who can help him hone these skills is of course Sasuke, seeing as how two of the Karma Seal's abilities is to absorb chakra and open up portals, which was also already abilities of the rinnegan. Also, if I'm not mistaken, one who possesses 6th path chakra is also granted the ability to perform all 5 chakra natures. So with Boruto, we already know he can perform wind, lightning, and water. And even if this does come to be the only natures he learns, which I would love if he'd be added to that list of shinobi who can perform all 5, but if he does stop at 3, regardless of the fact, this is something Sasuke can help Boruto further develop and even potentially learn to combine different chakra natures together. Now, as for the relationship when it comes to master and student, I think that's something I want to save for when I get into the Star Pupil novel. I have made a video already kind of similar to this topic, so for now there isn't anything really new to say. So yeah, I think I want to save this part for later since it'll be a lot better explained then. But in terms of abilities, again, when you look at Boruto's potential and combine that with Sasuke's knowledge, it's out of the roof for this kid. If you look at everything he can do, he has the potential to become one of the most versatile characters in the entire franchise, especially if he does come to learn all 5 natures. And with Kawaki, see, the thing is with him, Sasuke is more than capable enough to teach him ninjutsu or even teach him a lot of things about life and being a shinobi. That's not a question, as even one time he seeked those answers in Shippuden himself. It's not that he's not capable of doing this, it's just I don't want Kawaki to stray too far off of Naruto. Obviously, Kawaki needs to be at that point to where he can live freely without the Hokage being around. You know, like after his conversation with Isshiki, he literally said life is not worth living without Naruto. I understand it's a very heartfelt moment, but that's not something that you want to live by the rest of your life. Because the way it is right now, Kawaki's talking like, hey, if he goes, I go. Simple. I think he needs to be at that point to where if Naruto hypothetically does die, obviously the grief is there, but eventually he should pick himself back up and to be just as good or better than the man Naruto used to be, parallel to Naruto and Jiraiya. So honestly, I do think Kawaki needs to find more of a purpose in this world besides just being around the Hokage. But taking any kind of advice or help from Sasuke wouldn't necessarily be a bad thing, but I don't think it should be anywhere close to what Boruto and Sasuke got going on. And last but definitely not least is Mitsuki. Now see, Mitsuki isn't someone I can dive that deep into, mainly because of the fact that his fate is probably the most cloudiest, seeing as how he doesn't have any real life goals. With Sarada, I was able to pin the past of the Uchiha with her wanting to be Hokage together, because in order for her to become a good Kage, part of it is understanding what it means to truly become one and motivation. She has some now, but when you look at Naruto and his reason for wanting to be Hokage in part 1 to Shippuden, it did change up a bit, and that's what I was talking on with Sarada. With Boruto, Sasuke helping him learn all these crazy cool abilities is so that he can eventually become someone strong enough to protect the village from the shadows, the same way that his master did. With Mitsuki, I can definitely tie in how Sasuke could help him, you know, master lightning style, for example, by changing chakra form or combining 2 different natures, because we know he has wind style, but for what reason? What's the point of Mitsuki becoming stronger besides just wanting to have power? Obviously, this is going to get touched on in the future, but as of now, besides ninjutsu training, I don't think there really is anything Sasuke would need to help him with, especially seeing as how he isn't a sage mode user. And honestly, even if he did have knowledge of it, there are better people to teach him, in my opinion. So yeah, besides ninjutsu training, which I think Sasuke is formidable to do so, that's probably as far as it goes. Now, whether his impact on these characters is significant or not, there is a role here Sasuke could play, and through their training, it would also be a cool idea to reintroduce many concepts that were brought into Shippuden. In my opinion, so far in the anime, I think the training episodes have been lacked on a bit, so hopefully with Sasuke kind of forced to stay at home, it'll be more important to establish these moments as his role is now more lean towards the side of a teacher. I'm sure everyone watching would love something like that, but anyways guys, let me know how you feel about the overall idea of this video in the comments below. Thank you guys for watching all the way until the end, and I'll catch you on the next one.